Hi everyone, come plant up my front planters with me this morning. So earlier today I went to Catoctin Mountain Growers, my favorite nursery, and picked up a couple of things. Sorry for the squinting, it's crazy bright out here. Just a couple of rules of thumb when you go ahead and plant your planters. First of all, you want to make sure that they're seasonally appropriate. The stuff that I picked up today is really early season. I will end up probably replanting these midsummer as they start to dull a little bit, but we'll see what happens. So all the stuff that I got should be pretty seasonal friendly for mid-March. That being said, they're also going to be planted here where it's covered. There's also an extreme microclimate right here because it's south facing. So the sun's going to keep things very warm, and that's going to kind of help us beat the frost a little bit. A good rule of thumb whenever you are planting planters is you want to think about having what they call a thriller, a filler, and a spiller. So the thriller is going to be something that goes upright and kind of attracts your eye up a little bit higher. The filler is going to be something that fills in the center area, and then a spiller is going to be something that spills over the top of the pot so that you kind of have a little bit of visual interest from the bottom to the top to bottom. It keeps your eye moving. A couple of things that we're going to use with that is for the thriller, we're going to use this beautiful Snapdragon, which is super duper bright. That's going to stand up in the back. You can see there's not a whole lot of blooms mid-range here, so that's where our filler is going to help us out. And for that, I'm going to use these cute little violas. Now, here's the thing with violas. They got a bad rap from me for a long time. They're pretty much kind of like small pansies. They're great because they'll take a frost, they'll live forever, and a lot of times they'll maybe second bloom in the fall. The big difference between pansies and violas is just that pansies have a much bigger flower. So I liked those because from up close, pansies are much more thrilling than violas, I think, because they have that big bloom. However, recently I have come to really love violas because even though they're smaller, they put off a lot more blooms. If you do a comparison with this picture, you can see there's a whole lot more green area in the pansies. This is not even after they've been planted in the soil. So the violas just put off a whole lot more color. So from a distance, it just looks like it's filled totally with color, and they just keep going. So do pansies, but I feel like the blooms go a little bit crazier in violas. Lastly, for our spiller, I actually have a few things going on. I already have a little bit of sedum in this pot, like just a little tiny bit. So we'll leave that in there. And then I'm going to use this alyssum, which is a nice early crop as well. It's got a little pink tone to it, so that's going to be nice. That will go a little bit nuts and spill over. This will bloom all summer long pretty much. This pretty much could stay as the spiller forever, even when I swap out other things. And then in addition to that, I'm going to use this Calabar Koa. And there's a couple of reasons for that. I'm pushing it a little bit with the Calabar Koa as far as season goes, but once again, they're in a very protected area where I'm planting them. The other big reason why I'm planting them is because it's kind of going to be that thing that ties everything together. So that magenta of the Snapdragon is pulled in on the outer edges of this, and then that dark purple and yellow throat is going to really help to tie in the alyssum and the violas that are going in there. So it's going to kind of create somewhat of a matchy color palette that's not super duper repetitive. All right, let's get started. You can see there's quite a bit of spinning in the root base here, so I'm just going to break that up so that it can grow out into the pot a little bit more. This is a self-watering pot. Oh no, I just broke off one of these beautiful blooms. now let's just do the same to the other side. All right, everyone, I wanted to wait a couple of weeks to post this because I thought you just might want to see how quickly they start to fill out. You'll notice that I put some sticks in the back. They were just used to support an orchid stalk, and I stuck them in there for something A, kind of decorative, and B, to kind of help support this snapdragon stalks. I don't know, what do you guys think? Does it look kind of shabby? Does it look trashy like that? Should I keep them? What do you think? You can always plant things much thicker so that they look completely full right when they go in, but I like to just throw in a couple of accessories just so that that's kind of taking up the space, because the plants will always grow in. You just got to give them a little bit of time. So a lot of these grow very quickly. I'm not super concerned about that. A couple of things that I'm going to add to it. I have some of these battery operated candles that I'll just fit in, because who says that lights are only for Christmas time? And then I have these slow water globes that are, used for watering, but in this case, they're just gonna be decorative, or I could use them once again to help support the snapdragons a little bit. So I'll do the same to the other side as well. And then with the lights, they actually really, really look cute at night. And then as the flowers fill out a whole lot more, I can take those things away or find a way to keep them in there. I've got some options. Also, if you've ever been curious as to why they're called snapdragons, if you haven't done this, you're missing out. If you squeeze on the sides, they tend to open up, and they look like they got little teeth like dragons. That's the funnest part, right?